How difficult is it to just sit and watch me being silent, not starting to speak, just being me, not saying anything? Many of you would have already scrolled past, right? For those of you who are still waiting for me to say something, you are in a information overload state already because you have been constantly scrolling. You constantly want to gather information, knowledge, wisdom from wherever you can. Your mind is probably cluttered from moving from one screen to another, watching news, entertaining yourself, work. When was the last time you were not doing anything and you were just being? Just being. We are human beings, not human doings. This is where the gap comes from. The gap that keeps us in the feeling of lack, as if there is something lacking, as if there is something missing all the time. This gap is the distance between where you are and where you want to be, whether in time or space. You are here where you are, but you want to be in another time or in another place. And the gap, the difference between where you want to be and where you are is what creates the constant feeling of lack within you. And that feeling of lack constantly keeps you disregarding the current moment, making it a means to an end, as if this moment is just a means to get to another moment which is more important than the current one. What you need to understand is that there is no other moment which is more important than this current moment. If you think that in this moment you should be gathering information, doing something, achieving something, um, because you need to plan for the upcoming moments, then you will spend your entire life planning for the upcoming moments and never living the moment that currently is. It's okay to be ambitious. It's great to plan things ahead. I'm not telling you to not think about the next moments at all, not plan your future at all. All I'm saying is that there are 24 hours in a day. You can spend a couple of hours just being. Even if you spend a couple of minutes just being, which is very difficult in today's world, especially for the youth of today, who are constantly shuttling between screens, they don't know what it is to just be. Have you ever seen a person on the bus stop or in a metro train or in the office just sitting like that? Somebody is just sitting like that today looks very weird, no? What is he doing? He's just sitting like that. Which 20 years ago, 30 years ago was very normal. But today, if somebody is just sitting idle, it doesn't seem right. What seems right is that the person is looking at his phone, that the person is on a screen, that the person is reading a book or talking to someone or doing an activity. Now, why am I even urging you to just be? Why am I asking you to not do all the time and just be? Because the lack that you feel, the constant feeling of inadequacy that you feel, the constant clutter in your mind, the constant feeling of getting to the next moment or the next day or the next month, which is more important than today to you, is what is constantly keeping you in stress, in anxiety, in non aliveness. Okay, if you want to feel alive, you must be in the moment. Try to remember the last time you felt a few moments of extreme peace. You felt elated. You felt like you had everything. You felt like you were in bliss. You felt like you didn't have to get to the next moment. You didn't feel like checking your phone. When was that last time? That must have been when either you were doing an activity which needed you to be in the moment, like hiking, swimming, chatting with your best friend, simple breathing, sipping your favorite tea, or swimming, or playing with your kids, or looking at your pet's eyes, or simply being on a vacation and looking at the sea and the sand and the sun and the sky. Did you want to get to another moment? Did you feel like checking your phone? Did you feel like you were not you were not adequate in that moment, that you were in a state of lack, that you were not in bliss, right? So there are two ways to be in the moment. One is by doing an activity that keeps you in the moment. It could be yoga, workout, vacation, hiking, swimming, all of these things. But what I'm trying to encourage here is not just doing all the time. Okay, you can be in the moment even when you're not doing something. Okay, and certainly not looking at your phone or at a screen. When you're sitting, just try to be. And thinking is also doing. So when we just sit and we don't have a phone for some reason, and we don't have an activity to do, our mind starts to churn a lot of thoughts, right? And thinking is also doing. But what we are trying to do here is just be. We're trying to just be here. Okay, just be as if there's nothing to be done. And about 2 decades earlier, this was a normal thing. People used to finish up their work and they would just be, they would just sit idle. But now, even 3 seconds of being idle, which you saw at the beginning of this video, it makes you uncomfortable. It makes you awful, right? If you stand in a lift and you're not looking at your phone, it feels awkward to you, isn't it? Between other people, it's not awkward to just be. It will keep you in the moment, and trust me, it will take away all your worries and anxieties if you can just be just present in the moment. To do this, you can first start with a few practices such as deep breathing or pranayam, or you can read a book, or you can chant a mantra to take your mind away from all other activities, to take your mind away from all the thoughts and the clutter, and to just be. But then you are still doing, you are chanting a mantra, or you're focusing on your breath, and you're trying to read a book to be in the moment. Ultimately, your aim should be to just be without doing anything. Okay, just be. And it's not something that you need many years of practice to attain. If you think that You will become a wise sage, a rishi who can meditate for hours and days on a mountain. For that, you need to practice for years and then you achieve it. No. Being can be done immediately right now. Just try it. Just try it right now. And it's not that you have never experienced it. The last time when you looked at the sky, you didn't have any phones around you, you didn't have any activity to do, or you were not reducing the moment to be a means to an end, uh, to achieve something in the future. And you were not even thinking, churning thoughts. You were just blank and just enjoying the moment of looking at the sunset or the stars, right? Or maybe you were looking at your pet's eyes and the pet is so innocent that you felt very present and you were just being, because the pet was being, just being. The pet does not think. The pet at that moment was not doing anything. It was just being and looking back at you. And when you were looking at the pet, you had those few moments of bliss when you were just present. Every day, in many of your moments, I'm sure you experience such moments, but those are unconscious. And you think that you cannot bring more bliss into your life, you cannot consciously bring happy moments to your life. That is not true. You can, you don't need a warm glass of milk or hot chocolate or your favorite tea or your favorite food um, or your dreamed vacation to feel present in the moment. You can just be present right now, and you can just make your moments happy right now by just being. Let me know if you tried that and how it felt.